Buddy, and welcome back to the newest installment of the Team Inkfinity podcast. We've got a couple, I guess, usuals with us now, and we have somebody who is back from the dead. Mo, thank you for thank you for joining us. You've had a ton going on in life and family these last couple weeks as we've been getting back up and at it. So glad that you could make it, especially given the context of everything we're going to be talking about and the tournament, the Sharp tournament that just happened last weekend, and our performance and everything that has come out of that, and all of our thoughts and everything. So yeah, we had a pretty good run. I think I feel like everybody's probably heard about it at this point, and I say everybody because you tweeted your list and Hayden's list, and Hayden's list got picked up on basically every like news site that I've seen. And so, yeah, and I say Hayden's list, but hey, I was just about to correct you guys. I knew you were going to correct me. And so I was just about to correct it too. But, yeah, so we've got a fun one this weekend. I feel like we always do a relatively good job at what we feel like being ahead of the meta and kind of like quote shaping it, if you will, but we're never the ones like putting our stamp on it. And I feel like this time we were lucky enough to be at the tournament that like, was big enough and has the recognition to kind of help push that agenda. And so I feel like we really did help set the, kind of the floor of what this meta is going to look like. But with that said, I think we have some other exciting news that I want to mention real quick. So we have a new sponsor. Shout out Mattified Customs, Matt Foiler. He's a really good friend of the podcast. He's been around and been really close to us for a while now, but he just recently launched an affiliate program, and we're one of the first people to join that. And so, yeah, we're going to have a lot of information on how to do that. And if you ever want to get anything through Mattified, you can help support us by using our affiliate link and all of that to help purchase his mats, which are by far and away the best in the game. I'm not even kidding when I said I used to get every single mat that came out for all the different sets. And then I got a Mattified mat, and I genuinely haven't bought a release one since. So they're in my opinion, they're that good.
Yeah, Craig is fantastic person, super hard worker, super excited to be a part of this. Craig, you're a real one.
I know. I wish I had one of my mats. I
mine's I don't have mine either. Mine's in the car.
I can grab one out of my closet.
Prison's gonna grab one.
Yeah, I have. My favorite one is like actually still in my car because I've been taking it everywhere with me. Yeah, go grab it. But yeah, it's if you haven't seen his stuff, go check out mattifiedcustoms.com. He does all of the foiling on like the release mats. He does championship mats. You can send in your mat to have custom, like you can send in custom orders, and he will do all of your foiling on the mat however you want. So he'll take custom orders, and then yeah, as you can see from Matt and Hayden, like it just looks fantastic with all the foiling on the mat. So check it out. It's one of easily the best play mats that you can play on, especially if you want a big blingy. They're insanely high quality. Upside down, but getting there. Yep, perfect. Love it.
I like the daytime one.
Yeah, so that's super exciting to one that he's doing that and helping a lot of the other creators in the community. But two, obviously that we're able to work with him and do that because we have been such fans and even friends for a while now. So love that. But with that said, is there anything else anybody wants to talk about before we jump into the tournament and all of the tournament talk from last weekend?
Riftbound came out last week.
Well, Riftbound.
Okay, you see the title, like you can see the title right there. It literally says Riftbound Hater. Like we don't talk about those are dead words on this podcast.
That might just be why I brought it up. Anyways, Master Yi's gonna watch you from the background here.
Those are the runes are really cool.
Oh my god, we are not doing this right now. I'm going to crash out.
All right.
We're gonna show real cards. We're gonna show real fun cards.
The Riftbound pod comes out next week. Don't worry, guys. We're working on it.
I will say shout out Philip and Lexi Sharp for putting on the tournament and just like getting everyone there. None of it happens without them. So yeah,
man,
shout out to them.
Just what a class act. Because like, let's talk about this real quick. Let's be real. The tournament did not have the turnout that everyone expected for a 10K, and they upheld every bit of their bargain. They paid for it out of pocket. They still drove like everything they could do, and they were just happy to be there. Like two amazing people, and so happy to have attended this event and will attend everyone in the future.
Yep. We've said it time and time again, especially at the beginning of the year when the official Disney events weren't around. The community, in all of the stores, like Ink, like Charlie's, like Sharp, are doing the job of keeping the community going and thriving, because without those, I genuinely think that it would have had a massive downtick this year because there just wasn't any supported events. But yes, it was, for this area, the mid, like South Central, the U.S. If you haven't checked out Sharp, you definitely should, because hopefully there will be many more to come. And
we need to support getting these 10Ks to CCQs. Like, I should have my invite right now. Right?
I don't disagree. If you fight through a field of 5 continental players, 1 world's player,
there was minimum 4 golden Mickeys in attendance, just so y'all are aware.
Yeah, and I mean, and it, like I don't think I'm missing any continental players, but 5.
YCS winner.
Yeah.
YCS winner.
Yeah.
Shout out Dennis.
Yeah.
It was an insane field. And so, and that doesn't even include, a couple people that are just insane players and haven't had quite the runs to get to, continentals. I mean, I imagine if you throw in day 2s, there's another, 4 or 5 anyway. So it wasn't like a massive tournament, but the quality of the people at this tournament were next level for sure. So anyways, and the highlight of yeah, I mean, you're the champion of the money prize pots.
True, 3 out of 3 and 10Ks.
I know, and that's insane to think about. But
Hayden doesn't miss a buck. I'm just gonna say that.
I know my freezer's gonna get full of all his checks.
Yeah.
Proud dad.
Yeah.
Well, when the lights come on, I tend to lock in, go to a different mode.
I was gonna say that from your outfit today. You're wearing your lock-in outfit. Mm-hmm. For those who haven't been around Hayden and played in a tournament with him, when he'll be all jovial and happy and kind of joking, and then the round timer starts and the pairing goes, and his hood goes up and he sits down and is he in like absolute focus mode.
Yep. I want to talk about that actually, because
go for it.
They talked about it on the podcast, the stream a little bit. Jay-Z and them like making fun of my hat hoodie combo, but like I actually do it for y'all. Know I do it for a reason.
Yeah,
and I try to get y'all on it. I mean, so the way our brains work and our eyes work is, we're taking in all this input all the time, no matter what, and like when your opponents are sitting right next to you and they're hand shuffling and looking at their hand and doing things and moving around and saying words, like you're picking up all of that and it's taking a bandwidth away from your brain. So if I put my hoodie on and cover my peripheral vision and I don't see them, I put my hat on and all I see is my our mats, their head, their face, and that's it. And that's all the information I try to take in, and just limits it. And I think it probably boosts my deductive reasoning skills at least like 10%.
That's crazy that you say that, because I was reading this story today about a professional wide receiver on the Tennessee Titans, and I don't know a ton about football anymore. I don't follow it near as much as I did when I was growing up, but he's had a ton of drops this year, and so at practice they give him glasses that have like these tiny I'm not kidding, like they're tiny little holes, so that he can like focus on the important parts and like not let the rest of the stuff going on around him distract him, so that he can like focus on the things that matter. And it's exactly what you're saying.
That's
so
cool.
there's definitely some science behind it.
Now, I can attest to just how important your mentality is for card games, and having like not only like, because you're overstimulated, you're a human in a room filled with tons of other humans doing their thing, and everyone's in their own little bubble, but there's so much going on, it gets so busy. A little bit different, probably a little bit less scientific, but I keep like a little worry stone or like a little keepsake that I just grab in my pocket, and it just kind of helps ground me. And I think it's a hugely underrated aspect sitting across at a tournament in any kind of big social setting like this.
I agree. I have to say too, I just realized that the primary name for Matt is Coldstone, and the subtext
I saw that.
I can't. But yeah.
Who's
So
really
anyways,
on the podcast?
so high level overview for those who didn't follow the Sharp tournament or didn't see the results. Half of the top cut was Team Inkfinity. So I have to just say that is a testament to the practice and the time that we put in before it. We knew this was an event from a long time ago. We knew that it was going to be set 10 from, I don't know, probably 2 months at this point now. And so we were from the very beginning ready to do it. And we all knew coming out of Milwaukee that we were going to lock in and be ready for it. And I think that approach is very much a testament to that finish. And I think it's very possible we would have had another Inkfinity member make it, but Hayden kind of unfortunately had to put 2 members down on his way to the top.
And Cody's only losses all day were to me.
Yeah, and so Cody was supposed to be here with us today, but something came up, and so myself, Hayden, Mo, and Cody all made top cut. And I think Matt and Devin were both a game away from it as well. And so they were, right on the cusp, and one of Devin's losses was to Hayden as well. And so we were all right there vying for it. And so it was pretty awesome to say. And then just a little quick side shout out, a honorary Team Inkfinity member, Eric, shout out Eric, won the Sunday event with Hayden's aggro Amber Steel list. And so not only did he win Saturday, but he helped build/pilot the deck that won the Sunday event. And so, yeah, he had just a hell of a weekend all the way around, and shout out Eric for winning the Infinity tournament on Sunday. But anyways, yeah, back to the main event. We had 4 of us in here, 3 on Blue Steel. And then, of course, Mo was kind of doing his own thing. And as you can see from his subtext, he is once again playing green purple, which we will definitely get to. And I want to hear his advice, because I definitely played a lot of it, getting ready for the event, seeing if it was something I wanted to take. Because anytime he has confidence in something, I know it has to be good. But the reason I want to start with that last is because everybody else took Blue Steel. So not everybody, but I took Blue Steel, Hayden took Blue Steel, Matt took Blue Steel, Cody took Blue Steel, Devin took Blue Steel. So that's a lot of Blue Steels. When, on last week's episode, we were talking about what we wanted to bring, and everybody said Blue Steel, and I kind of thought everybody was joking. But it turned out that we really all had that much confidence in it. And I think we proved that we were ahead of the curve in a lot of the ways, because once Goliath was released and we got all the products and we opened everything, and he was I think he bottomed at $18. We were all kind of yeah, nobody gets this yet. And sure enough, I think we're ahead of the curve. So with that said, I'm going to switch over here and we can show Hayden's list, because Hayden did end up winning. I didn't say that, but I think or maybe I did say it, but Hayden was the one that ended up taking the crown, won the whole thing. So yeah, let's start with you, Hayden. I know you talked about it on the Illumiteers earlier this week as well, and so you've been doing the rounds, but just want to get your overall thoughts on the meta and the deck, and just your overall thoughts on the tournament.
I think Matthew should go first. I think he should talk about himself building the deck, and
sure.
And then I'll kind of talk about how it worked out in practice versus how he saw it working out.
Yeah, that's fine. Go for it.
Well, so the no 1-drops was just because they're very low impact, and in testing in the mirror matches, I felt like I was top decking these Captain Hooks and Mulans, and they just didn't do a whole lot. And then I felt like I didn't really need it for aggro. You have Spooky Sight and Hurl. And I don't know, it just didn't really feel like you didn't need a lot of 1-drops in the early game, because you can catch up through all these powerful songs and actions. And then your bodies are all pretty much do something on play. The Namari's really good at trading in the early game. Goliath is really good if you can curve it out. You go 2, 4, 6 on turn 4.
Yeah.
But Jinzo is really good. Hades is really good. And Horseman, I think, should have been a 4 of. It was kind of a late addition. I had it at 1. I put I kept going up 1, 2, 3, and I just didn't have enough testing to get it up to 4. But I definitely should have been a 4 of. And then I think the only difference between my list and Hayden was he took a Keated out for that Low Jack Horseman guy.
Oh yeah, the
Mayor
Wind Dancer.
yeah.
Mayor.
Is his
Nice.
name Wind Dancer, or is he the mayor? Like, is that his title?
I could have sworn he was a Zootopia card, but apparently he is a Zootopia 2 card, and so I don't know the answer to that.
I think the movie's not. Yeah, I don't.
His name is Brian Winddancer, in case anyone is wondering.
Brian?
No.
Why is it? Oh, so he is the mayor. Yeah, I guess he is the mayor after the end of the first movie where the mayor got arrested. But yeah. The no one drops is I think the thing that a lot of people have, kind of gravitated to, talking about the most. And while it is interesting, everything he said, I definitely agree with from an impact perspective and the, overall like composition of it.
Yeah. And so from like an approach to the tournament perspective, I think it made sense because we expected like most people to be on like the blue green deck, or like purple steel, because that's purple steel had been doing so well. It doesn't need that many new cards, and there is a lot of new cards you can play, and it gets better even with the cheap cards. Without the legendaries, you can make purple steel better. So we thought that would be better. Also blue green. So I don't think you necessarily need the one drops in those two matchups. It kind of feels like you do versus purple steel, but really you don't. You just give them that first 3 lore from questing the first 2 turns, and then you play Tinkerbell on 4, or you play Spooky Side on 4, and then it's hard for them to deal with it unless they have like a weird strength line to kill your Tinkerbell, but most of the time they don't.
Yep. And most of the time too, they're honestly going to burn it on Cindy first, which isn't terrible, because obviously you'd like it to live so that you can sing your song when you drop your 6 drop down. But I did find in a couple of my matches where they were scared of the Cindy singing one of the songs, and they burned their removal on her first, which ended up biting them in the long run, because it's an important target, but it's not like the important target, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think I got pretty fortunate with my matchups. I only played 3 different decks. I played 3 blue steel, 3 purple steel, and 3 blue greens for 9 matches, and I went 7-1-1. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe I only played 8 because I drew 1. So yeah,
5 and 3. Yeah, there's 8 rounds total, because there's there's 6 rounds. Yeah, there was 9 rounds, but yeah, you drew 1. So,
but I either blue green or purple steel, I only played twice, I guess. But I didn't play anything other than those 3 colors.
But I would also say that's what we expected the meta to be. So we did a good job of that. Just having an understanding and practicing into the most important decks. So.
And I will say, I also like hadn't played a game with this blue steel deck in like a week, probably before the tournament, because I didn't think I would have access to the Cinderellas. But all I was doing was playing against it, basically. So I felt like it was fun, because felt like I was learning my deck as I played throughout the tournament. Like I was getting better with it every round, which is really cool. I love when that happens.
It was weird because in testing, Goliath was like really putting in like a lot of work and pressure, and then in practice, I was just playing Cinderella and then like Princess looping and just keeping a big hand size and just like keeping the high end and ramping up that way.
Yeah, I think he's he's very good in the situations where he is very good, and then when he's not, he feels very risky. It feels like in the games where you haven't, like he's really good in the beginning when you curve him out, obviously, on turn 4 with your Cinderella, and then you get to force your opponent into weird situations where they have to discard cards, and you get to start refilling your hand and playing big bodies. But if they've gone really wide and you're not in like an overwhelming board state yet, it feels bad to get purple steel cards. The card is really good in the late game also, but even against blue green, if you don't have an overwhelming board advantage, you really can't afford to give them more cards just to give yourself more cards to close the game out. Like even if you're on, like I think you almost have to ink it sometimes, even if it's the only card in your hand late game, because you just can't give your opponent cards because they'll end up beating you.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is I did an okay job during the tournament on my run on that, but I will say I've realized the importance, especially in like the mirror, of trying to force your opponent into being the one playing the Goliath, because they never want to turn him sideways. And so he just kind of sits there, and then you get the resource advantage of him as well. And you're playing important cards that you do want to turn sideways that do have more, impact on the overall game. And so I think, being understanding when to play Goliath and how to play Goliath and when not to play Goliath, like you said, is going to be really important if you want to be a successful, pilot of this deck, going further into the meta.
I don't think you would cut him maybe to 3, but because he is so good when he's good. And he is one of those cards that when you're losing, you can still play him and come. He is a comeback card to some degree. So
I really like how Goliath scales into the blue steel mirror, and it's also a little bit of a double-edged sword in a way, because if you think about it, as you get into the late game, you're firing off Hades on each other turn after turn, you're resolving Cindy's to dig deeper into your deck and find different outs. You're ending up with just a book of an inkwell. And I like Goliath because when you get to like those hyper late game scenarios, you could always play him out and just have the ability to play out your hand and abuse him. But it could also be utilized against you, as y'all have talked, because, if you spooky side an aggro deck and then play a Goliath, you're just refilling them to throw things at you every turn. So
it is a very, it can be a bad card in certain scenarios, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's not just, to Hayden's point when he initially said, it was good, but not always good, is you do have to be careful. It's not just that always I need to play this and get it on the board, because in certain matchups it will come back to bite you. But with that said, Hayden, was there any point in any game, any matchup, any scenario in one of the rounds that you had that like really stuck out as an important moment along your run, or any highlight, I guess, that you want to talk through?
Yeah, I mean, there was a moment in round 2 when I lost game 1 to blue green, and then in game 2 I opened a hand of like Ink Runner, Jasmine, Hades, Vincenzo, Namari, or something like that. Like I mull 7 and don't hit any ramp or Cinderella or anything to play on 4. So in game 2 I've already lost one, and I like Ink pass, Ink play Ink Runner, he goes Webby, shift Webby, and then I ink on 3, ink on 4, and play nothing, and then like ink and play Namari, and it feels like I play my first card and he's an 8 ink with 3 characters on the board. and I like remember thinking to myself, oh my god, I'm gonna lose like this, and this is gonna feel so bad. But then I told myself, I was like, nope, you have all night to feel sorry for yourself. Just lock in. Like, you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. I was like telling myself you could do this in my head like 10 times. And it just like helped me be confident. And I was like, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to try to make this weird for him and do something strange. And I am really comfortable playing that matchup because I played it so much. And I knew if I could get to the late game that I could win. So I just kept playing big bodies and like forcing weird trades, and it worked out and I won that game. And then in the next game I thought I was going to win, and there was another situation where I had like a full bot board and full control, and he had one card in hand, and he top decks the Malicious and Scary to combo me and like wipe 5 characters off my board. And that was just a roll, and I ended up winning that game 3 also. And it was just a roller coaster of a round, but it really like proved to myself that I knew how to play that matchup, and so I wasn't really scared of other things. Like I knew the blue steel matchup, I knew the purple steel matchup, and I knew the blue green matchup. I was really only scared of that dogs deck, but I never saw it.
Yeah, that's actually the next thing I wanted to talk about, and so I'll throw it over to Matt because he had to play it from the blue steel side as well. So I feel like that's going to be a thorn going forward as well. I think a lot of people are starting to pick up on that one, and some of the power lines that it has. And so yeah, if you want to just kind of talk through that match and what ended up there.
Yeah. So I think that matchup was such a bad, it's so lopsided because you can't interact with their board until turn 3 or 4. So they have free reign to set up. So I had a stream match and he got to go. I went first both these games and I lost. He got to go Pluto, Raja, and then the Emerald or the yellow champion, the Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
And then he got to do the next turn Tramp and got to sing his Circle of Life. And Raja was able to sing Malicious, Mean, and Scary. And he could Prince Philip combo me on his turn 4. It it was really, really like lopsided. I don't think like I think the deck will have to change quite a bit. Like I think Fire the Cannons have to go in just for that matchup. It is like atrociously like one-sided. Like I don't think the deck as it was constructed could beat that deck.
If it curves well, it definitely just wins. I told Devin that I think just like there that morning when we were just like hanging out, because that's the only match that I've like played in testing where I just lost, and I was like, what did I learn from this loss? And what I learned was, yeah, you just lose this match if they do what they did, because that's ultimately what happened to me too.
Yeah, if they draw good, like there's like you can't beat them. There's not a like 7 cards you can mulligan for that will lead you to victory. They just do their thing too quickly, and you just don't have interaction for it quick enough.
Yep, I agree. It can be really really tough for sure. But yeah, I guess I'll talk about my list real quick, and then we can move on to Mo and get some thoughts on a non-blue deck, because he hates blue and steel as individual colors, and especially hates them together.
Oh no, just steel. Blue's fine. Actually, blue's not fine anymore. Now get this out of my face. I'll be back, y'all.
I did play a 1-drop. I went with Mulan, and my thought with the Mulan is it's a pseudo like dig card. It had a lot of just, I guess, value principles. You know, it's not develop your brain by any means, but it is like a pseudo develop your brain. It's also a princess, so you know, if you have a decent amount of ink late game, you can play a Mulan. You can trigger your Goliath to fill back up. Then you can trigger your Cindy to ink something from that you've drawn back up to. And so I just really like the utility that she has. She's also easy to just like play out to get out of your hand to draw another card with Goliath if necessary. So I really just valued that. And again, talking about 1-drops, it was a lot less about the body. It was just more about the utility that came around it. I did go for 1 Pleakley and 1 jump. I just didn't want to miss ramp on 2. We all played a bunch of Blurple last set, and we knew it was a death sentence to miss the turn 2 ramp, and so that's why those 2 are in there. Pleakley was fine. I also kind of joked with Mo before the tournament started. I was like, I'm putting this Pleakley in here to, if there's ever damage lying around on something on my board and I'm playing you, I'm just gonna Pleakley it so you can never go me. But everything else is very much what Hayden and Matt said. The Horseman I still really like, but I'm not a gambler, and so I don't always want to have that playing around. And Cody is now joining us, so we'll go ahead and add him in here. Move over to this so that you can actually see him. And Cody, you're in here now. Yeah, everything else is really similar. The Jasmine's a massive body. Namari is insane in the mirror because she can basically one-shot everything, and you need a lot of strength to hit the Vincenzos. Visions of the Future is probably my favorite card in the set, because you're getting to 9 ink very, very quickly and very, very easily, and it's never really a problem to do that. And then once you have your 9 ink, you can play your Vincenzos, you can play your Hades, you can play your Tinkerbells in that same turn. And so it's not like you need to dig something and figure out like what the best optimal card to take for your next turn is, but you get to play that card that turn as well. So I feel like that was a really good one. And then the Horsemen and Beyond the Horizons were for blue-green combo disruption. And it did a good job of just maintaining all of the necessary states like that throughout the tournament as well. So just a big fan of the composition overall. Aurora, Hayden had 1, I had 2, just for kind of disruption on targets for your welcomes and for the mirror matches, and it did okay. But it's it definitely helped. In the mirror match that I played, it was very good. In one other match, it was fine. I think it's probably a little too cute. Like, it definitely does stuff, but I don't think it's like as big a threat as some of the other things, and it doesn't trade well. Then it's probably better to just be something else. So
yeah, I agree. And I will say it's kind of cool. Like just mine, yours, and Cody's records against everything that wasn't us was kind of ridiculous.
Yep. But yeah, so anyways,
it was like 16-1.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're definitely going forward, and I'll definitely let Mo talk more about this because he's definitely more on the other side of the matchup. There definitely is things that counter this. I think, when we talked about it the first week, I don't remember if this was our highest on the list. I don't think it was on our tier list. And I think when we talked about it last week, we did definitely say it was one of the best, if not the best. And I think a lot of other creators and quote unquote pro players have definitely said this is, like the best deck in the format, or, the strongest deck in the format, or however you want to call it. But it does the most powerful things, but it's not without weaknesses. And so
I think it was definitely the best deck day one, but it might not be moving forward.
I don't know if it does the most powerful thing. I think it does the most consistent things.
Exactly.
Big bodies out. I think green decks have the most powerful things they can be doing right now. Like you have Clarabelle and you have like the Prince Philip stuff.
I can't. Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that. I guess when I say powerful, it's just like the density of power. I mean, I think green blue can definitely stutter. It can definitely lose to itself. Whereas to your point, like this is the consistency of the power. I mean, Hades, Vincenzo, Horseman, Jasmine. Like if you just go curve, 6 turns in a row, you play something 7 costs or more that all have massive advantage when you play them. It's just a very hard, curve to deal with for opponents. And so I think from that respect is, what I consider like the quote unquote power. But obviously the Prince Philip, seeing malicious, mean, and scary and play Prince Philip in a turn is like the most, or singularly powerful move you can make in the game. But aside from that, I think just the longevity of that power of that deck can be a little difficult to keep up with.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay, with that said, Mo, it's your time to shine. That Mo kid and his Emerald Amethyst is back on top as well, and so I think a lot of people have underserved your deck, your color combo up until this point. I think if you go through the tier lists, it has been C or worse in a lot of cases, and so I need you to tell people why they're wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean, you kind of said it. Unintentionally, I think you kind of said it the best yourself. The Prince Philip combo is not always the most consistent things for the other green decks to be doing. Well, have you tried playing it with purple cards? Pretty good, not gonna lie. Yeah, this deck was a lot of theoretical. I didn't have as much time to practice. I eventually got the games in. I still probably am like 100 games into the set, so it's not like I haven't practiced, but like y'all have practiced. A lot of this was theoretical, and a lot of it was just from noticing trends in the games that I had played at the time. And I just got to say, Webby is one of the craziest cards we've been given in green in quite a while. Fantastically powerful card.
Yep.
So, yeah, this is my list from the weekend. It is heavily geared towards the blue decks, but there is some concessions towards purple, steel, and aggro. You can kind of lump them into the same sort of category for you. But really, both decks, you look to outscale and you just kind of slow them down along the way. So you see stuff like Iago, Cheshire Cat, even Flynn Rider, the 1-drop, is mostly meant as a tool to slow them down. But against the blue decks, you have the Webby shift line to kind of like, you look for it. It's not Diablo, but you do look for it in a similar fashion to as you would look for Diablo, and just really aggressively mulligan for this combo against the blue decks. And even at worst, in some games, I would just ink pass. There is, for me, a criminally low amount of 2 costs, 1-2 cost in this deck. I think I have, 13 total. So you can legitimately miss them quite a few times. But there are some games against blue where I ink pass the first 2 turns, stick the Webby 4 cost on turn 4, and that's just enough because it skips me to these big haymaker plays like Hades, like Clarabelle Shift, like the Prince Philip Shift combo that just take my opponent out of the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's just so hard to play against. Like I mean, the fact that when people look at this and they think about green purple and they go, "Oh, that's not real." Like even us on our tier list, And we know what Mo can do with it, and we know he's going to try it, right? And we still put it so low on our tier list, and it's like that's the strength of it too. Is like people sit down and they have no idea how you're going to win the game. They haven't been
Because
testing
I wasn't
against you.
there. I would have put green purple at S tier.
Thank you, Cody.
With a little asterisk next to it.
Yeah, I think Hayden's point about like not knowing what to do against it is like a very real thing. You know, I think, you know, like if you look at this pile and you say like, how do I play this? A lot of people aren't going to understand it. And so if you don't even understand how to play it, you don't know what they're going to try to do and like what their game plan is. And so you don't know how to play effectively into it to counter what they're going to try to do, which obviously if you're going to win, like you have to be able to do that effectively.
Yeah, I promise you, if you think you're going to sit down against this and you're just going to read the board and you're going to win, you will not. I promise. You will lose.
The best thing about green purple, and y'all know I'm guilty of this a lot of times, but it's a deck that I can just hand my opponent my deck list beforehand and say, good luck, buddy. Because you can't play around everything in the deck. I think I heard someone who talked about it in one of their podcasts call it a choose your own adventure kind of deck. And it really is. Like, you just look at your different lines and figure out which way to take the game from there. Some games you go over the top of blue. You're up against blue steel. They have Hades, Vincenzo, and Horseman on their side of the board, and you blow them all up with the Prince Philip combo, and then you're questing sideways with 2 genies and a Philip, like, and you stand lethal in a turn or two. Some games you have a really aggressive early start, and you're just looking to stick damage on something and land a go-go for the finisher. Really powerful deck, really cool, very strong against the blue decks. Purple Steel is a matchup that I found to be very play draw. And if it's play draw for me, that means it's probably generally unfavored. Like if you were to pick this deck up and just ram it into Purple Steel, you'd probably not have a great time.
Yeah.
But you do have some really cool lines into it. I think Iago into Cheshire Cat into Madam M Elephant is really hard for them to get around and just puts a lot of pressure. Some of my favorite plays from the weekend were boosting something, like boosting Cheshire Cat multiple times even, and bouncing it with an elephant or a Mother Knows Best to get more cards, get access to more cards in my hand. It's a mechanic I wanted to mess around with ever since Boost was revealed. And it's not anything you can base a deck around. Like you can't have the boost bounce deck, but you can include it in your deck, and it turns out to be really cool some games.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, and if you're talking about Purple Steel being your most worrisome matchup, I mean, just the combo of Cheshire Cat into Elephant is like tough for them to deal with.
Yeah,
insanely.
Definitely.
I would say, Mo, like I know you haven't been on for a couple weeks now, but I know I've said like bouncing boosted cards is the most Mo thing to ever come to this game. And so the fact that like you top the first tournament of this set with that in the deck is just at least a testament to me understanding what you like to do and what you don't like to do in the game. I might not be the best person at replicating the actual results with that style. But I at least understand like, you know, what you will end up thinking is strong and how you'll, you know, take advantage of some of these new mechanics. And so the ability to like use boosted cards for card advantage on top of resource advantage with Webby just, you know, is the most like Mo thing I've seen come out of the game in a long time.
It's really cool because the boost mechanic gives you something to do without spending any cards. So like you're not doing anything, but you're still advancing your game state in these small minuscule ways, either boosting your Flynn, doing the bell effect with Cheshire Cat. And so you end up finding yourself just with a wealth of resources at a certain point, especially if you do get to do the cool bounce thing. I've already told all of y'all, but one of my favorite plays from the weekend is I had 3 stacks on my Cheshire Cat. It just lived for forever because it's 3/4 is not the easiest thing for smaller decks to get over. And then I had it sing a Mother Knows Best on itself, and I bounced the 4 stack to my hand, and it was like drawing 4 cards with my Mother Knows Best. It was really cute.
It's kind of like build your own rabbit.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I miss you, Rabbit. But yeah, I really like this deck. I like the ability to go over the blue deck, so you weren't just out of the game at any point. You could always draw Clarabelle and be back in it. You could always draw a Go-Go and steal it from out from under them. And then you could always just play over the top of them with the Prince Philip combo and all these huge bodies that you're playing turn after turn. Hades was such a fantastic card. This is definitely one of Hades' best decks that I think I've seen from him so far.
I agree with that for sure.
This deck looks so flexible. It hurts my brain. Like its ability to be able to play aggro, well not aggro, but like low to the ground, almost aggro, and then like also mid range with the cat and the elephant and then also just to be able to play like it's also just like a control deck. So it's so weird.
Against blue steel, as y'all are very well aware of, there's a lot of times, a lot of games you can sneak up to the 10 lore mark in the early turns because they go like Cindy, they don't play Spooky Sight, or they don't stick it exactly on turn 4, and you're able to just squeeze 10 lore out of the game. And then after that, it's just a matter of putting damage on something and drawing the go-go's. Like they can't deal with everything you play.
If you shift Webby on 2 against blue steel, you have to like really, really draw bad or really, really misplay to lose that match, I feel like. Again, I haven't played it as much as you, but I have put in enough reps to try to just get more data on the deck. And if you shift Webby on 2 against the blue deck, it's very, very hard to lose those games.
Yeah,
you almost can't ramp. Like it's almost optimal to just not ramp and just try to play your 5 cost and then play your 6 cost and not, because you can't give them a card every turn. You will lose.
I know.
It's hilarious because most games you end up with more ink than the blue steel player because they're going to hit you with Hades. You get hit with Spooky Side on occasionally, and so once Webby ticks a couple times, it's just you feel so powerful.
Yeah, I mean, and you draw better throughout the game too. I mean, you're playing a genie, which draws you a card. You're bouncing, some boosted cards potentially throughout the game. You're, like you said, you're playing Hades. You're doing all of these things along the way as well, where blue decks are just, inking their hand down, trying to get to Goliath or trying to get to a, Clarabelle Sing You're Welcome to refill back up. And so it's very, very oppressive when Webby comes down early. I'll say that it definitely has been underrated. And I think it's not as underrated anymore because Mo put it on the map, and anytime Mo tweets a deck list, like people listen, as they should. And so it's definitely shown to have a lot more legs than I think anybody initially thought.
2 last things I'll talk about it is I knew for this format, I really wanted to play an Ursula Deceiver deck. Blue steel's on 6 to 8 to 10 songs now, and they're all very impactful songs.
Sure.
You have green blue that's on bare minimum of 8 songs, but generally you see them hit more than that. There's just so many impactful songs that she can rip right now, and just makes her so strong. And then the other valuable thing about this deck, which is something green purple players know about for a while now, but you get to be the Clarabelle deck that doesn't have to see Clarabelle to win the game, and that feels so good.
Yep. Cody.
Oh,
go ahead. Never mind, Cody. You're cut off.
Oh, I was just going to say, I only played 2 Demona because that's all I had available to me at the time. I had 4, and then I convinced myself it was right to only run 2, so I don't remember what I took out for them. Anyways, Cody, go ahead.
What do you want my opinion on?
Just your overall thoughts on the tournament and how everything went, and any other just, fun Cody quips.
I got top 8. I only lost to Hayden, which ended up winning, so that's good. Blue Steel's very fun right now. I love Headless Horseman. Headless Horseman I shot a Tipo for 10 damage and made my blue-green player discard Hades, Big Phillip, and to deal 1 damage to everything. So I was like, that's a win. I mean, that feels like a game-winning move just right there.
Yep.
So I don't think I could ever play a Blue Steel deck without playing 4 Headless Horsemen. It did absolutely tremendous work all weekend. Highlight of the weekend, I'm glad Mo did well.
That's fair.
Because if anything, all I wanted to prove that Webby was insane. I need to justify my buying a playset of the Enchanted.
Oh, thank you so much. And I want a playset of Enchanted.
I know, I want them so bad.
They're so cool.
Wait, you actually get a playset?
I have to get one. I want to get one.
Oh, I thought you said you already got one.
No.
Did I get one? Is that what you asked?
Me?
No, I'm just interjecting because Mo's gonna freak out because I actually did get one.
Oh,
Why'd you
dibs.
get one?
Dibs.
That one right there.
Oh,
What is happening? Mo, we're
He
slacking.
opened one.
I know.
I got one because I genuinely think it's going to be one of the most busted cards going forward, and I wanted to get it while it was cheap. And
more.
yeah, I don't have it yet, but I did order them.
You're a sicko.
Well, I mean, we all topped a sharp tournament. Okay,
That's
sorry. I
true.
guess
You
that.
got money- you got money
Yeah,
to
I
blow.
guess that was going to the wrong person. You were the
That's
one on
crazy.
here that didn't top a
Just
sharp tournament. But
call that Matt like that.
Yeah,
Built the deck.
I know that was a sicko move. I'm sorry for that one, but yeah, I mean, I think if it's a dumb purchase, I'm not going to even try to justify it. It was stupid, but Mo's going to be happy because he's going to get to play it. Because I don't plan on. I say that I see the power. I have the best green purple player in the world, like right next to me a lot of the time, and so
Mo.
Yeah. And, so if I ever decide that it is something that I want to play, then I just I have that option. And to be fair, Mo stole all my just actual webbies I opened, so I didn't have any left.
Your Goliath enchantments went up though, right?
They went up to 300. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody bought them out. There was only 2 left on TCG this morning.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they could have gone back. Somebody could have seen that and they put them back
Devin
down. But
got off lucky with that one.
But anyways, yeah, we're kind of just rambling now, but are there any other thoughts anybody wants to talk about the tournament, the initial meta, the initial, event, any thoughts leaving the event, any other changes or, things to consider now that we've, started to shape the meta that might come up?
I was just gonna make one comment about Infinity.
Yep.
It's I'm kind of blown away and feel like I kind of expected this, but it was really nice to kind of see it played out. But in the Infinity portion, Raja did so much work in that Amber Steel deck. It's actually insane. Every time I saw a Raja come down, where I was like, man, if he plays a Raja right now, this is gonna really suck for the other guy. It's kind of crazy how much different it is that we have a 3/4 bodyguard now compared to a 3/3 with Hercules.
Yeah, and we didn't test it really at all. I mean, I had played it in a core deck with the new Rapunzel just to protect it once, but I was oh, I kind of just want to think it'd be good if we can protect Nala and just throw this on the end of our board sometimes.
All right, so I played the Circle of Life Dogs guy, and not in Standard, not Infinity. Gabe, shout out Gabe, cool, super cool dude, great opponent to play against.
Yeah, he top 4, didn't he?
Yeah, but the game 1 play was Pluto into Raja into that Singer 8 Mickey. And I'm like, he's going to play Tramp next turn, and I'm dead. Luckily, I play a deck with Mother Knows Best, and that makes things a lot better. So you can deal with the 5 willpower Mickey a lot easier than a lot of decks. But it still is just terrifying to watch that happen to me. I was like, no, not like this.
Yeah, I've seen that Mickey deck. I saw the Circle. I mean, we played around with the Circle stuff a little bit beforehand. But shout out Gabe for sure, because I've seen that that composition and that line played all over the board this week. And so it's definitely going to be a thing that you have to deal with as well as a blue deck if you're planning on continuing to play that, and that can be very, very difficult to do.
Yeah, I'll also say I think it's good. Even though the tournament was a little bit smaller than we expected, it was still high density of great players, above average players, and we all knew and we talked about it a lot. This is a great opportunity for us to go into a new format where it changes a lot and people aren't as prepared as they should be. Their decks aren't as good as they will be in a couple weeks when they get a copy of everyone else. They're not as good into each matchup because they haven't played as many games as us. So we used our preparation and it paid off.
Exactly, agree.
Yeah. I think we've talked about that on the podcast, and Mo and I definitely talked about that on the live stream on JDZ's channel during the intermission of it. We had a little 20-minute segment just kind of talking about the tournament and what we thought, and we definitely talked about the preparation because getting a group of people like we have, we're very fortunate to have, is really, really important. I mean, I don't know if I've ever said it like this before, that this is very much a team game in my eyes. There's so much that you have to learn and so many different things that you have to account for that one person alone, I just don't think, unless you're a savant, can really capture all of that. And so having people around you to bounce ideas off of and, get thoughts from is incredibly important.
And having each other to like keep our standards high. Like, I think my standards for this tournament were very high in how I wanted us to prepare and how prepared I wanted to feel. And I ended up not feeling that way. Like, you guys know, like, I almost didn't play in the morning before. So, but it ended up being, I might not have been where I wanted to be, but I was still like I was like more prepared than all the other people.
Yep, by far.
And I had to I played the same list as Devin, so I could keep him below 67 cards.
Can't play 67 with turn 2 ramp necessary.
And he still changed it the second before the tournament started. He took Kita for the mayor.
It's so funny because
he did it last second.
Yeah, you two played the same deck minus the one mayor, and so did Matthew and I.
Yep. And I'm just the lone wolf over here, just doing my own thing because that's what I do. But to end it all, it was a great tournament. It was a really fun experience. If you haven't checked out Sharp Gaming, be on the lookout on socials. And if you want to join our team Discord, we have all of the stuff talking about those as well. They've done this is their third huge event like this that they've done, and we want them to continue to be successful so we can continue to do more events like this because we're really all close to them and love it, obviously, but we just want to have more events in this area for the community. And it was just a great time, and can't wait to continue to follow out this set. Have a couple CCQs this set, have another DLC this set, which we're all excited about. So should be a great time. But if nobody else has any final thoughts, then we'll go ahead and see you guys next time. Take that it. All right.
Don't buy out the Webbies.
Don't buy out Webbies.
Don't do it.
I still don't own it.